phones out, not now, but later. Look us up on Instagram, Pricncipal team, and follow us, because then you'll get messages of this special day as we move forward. And if possible, leave some feedback. All right, here we go with our first speak. Oh, one more thing. Books at the door. On your way out, we have Why Forgive books, full of stories of forgiveness that you can take, and they're free. So take one home with you. First speaker, Sergio.
I'm not gonna use the mic because I get a little bit too loud. So real quickly, I could already tell you that we do these presentations a lot, and without fail, the beginning of the presentation is always a weariness about what's gonna be talked about, and we make up assumptions. And real quickly, I'm gonna tell you, we're very different than some of the presenters that you usually hear from. So real quickly, I don't have a problem if you're not interested in what it is I have to say, but one thing I'm going to ask is that you not interrupt any individuals either side of you, behind you, or in front of you, because although you may not be interested in what it is we have to say, that individual might be, and that's the only reason that I'm here. Now, I recognize that some of the things we're going to talk about may not necessarily apply to you. And so at this age, at 44 years old, right, I can tell you that I've been doing this kind of work for a long time, and we can sort of read the room. And I don't know if it's a gift or a curse, but sometimes we have a bunch of individuals that want to impress others. And as a result of trying to impress, they want to act as if they're not touched by the kind of messages and the things we talk about. You see, walking into this particular space right now, there is a spirit, even in the name of your academy, of one of the academies. At the same time, it used to be where I, as a professional, used to think of, I want to focus on the older ones. I want to focus on those 9, 10, 11, and 12 graders. Because those are the ones that are giving up hope. Those are the ones that are giving it all up. And there's no reason for them to kind of hold on to something positive to try and be positive. Now, as I got a little bit older and I started recognizing certain things, I started realizing how important it is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Why? Because when I'm working with the 9th and 10th graders, when I'm burying babies that are 14, 15, 16 years old, because they gave up their life for a street corner they don't even own, for some colors that mean absolutely nothing. So all of a sudden, I start thinking, you know what? That 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is really where the work begins. But now I'm even smarter and I realize this is from the womb. And so when you guys hear this idea of forgiveness, when you guys look at some of the images, when you walk into a building such as this, and you're wearing a shirt with one of the biggest, most influential individuals to ever live in this country, an individual that defies all labels, an individual that risks life and limb, speaking up for the voiceless, talking about injustice and inequities and inequality, all of a sudden I know there's a spirit in this room that makes it different. And so my beautiful young people, I'm going to admit to you that today, I'm here hat in hand, but I'm really here to boast. I'm here to boast about how amazing each and every last one of you are. I'm here to tell you to please hold on. I'm here to tell you to remember how special and unique each one of you are, because it is around this age where you start questioning how sacred you are, your validity, your value, who you want to be in life. There was a time, true or not true, when somebody walked in and they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? You would say you want to be an actress, you want to be a doctor, you want to be an astronaut, you want to be a professional athlete, you want to be an author, you want to be anything and everything. Is that true? And somewhere along the lines, things start to change, and I'm going to tell you when it happened for me. For me, it happened right around this age. For me, it happened when I was going from 5th into 6th grade, and I can tell you I didn't understand many of my limitations. You see, when people talk about being poor, I didn't know what that was. I thought I was good, but in reality, they were talking about me and what I was going through. Being raised by a hardworking single mother, living in the same neighborhood, in the same community, with the individual who is biologically responsible for me being born, but I got no connection with him. And my mother used to work those 6 days a week, night and day. And so she wasn't home, and around this time is where I started looking for role models and things to do. And I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you real quickly. If I mean, I don't really tap people and tell them that they, I'm gonna have to remove. I definitely don't want to remove any 6th graders or 5th graders, but I will. So if it doesn't, if somebody's bothering you, whatever, you know you're doing the right thing. Stay focused. This message is for you. All right? Don't let nobody take you out your zone. So I can tell you that it was going into that 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, where all of a sudden my mentality started to change. All of a sudden I get to middle school and I'm hanging out in middle school and I start looking at the 14-year-old that's still in middle school. And he made it look glamorous and he made it look cool. And all of a sudden I'm going out onto the block and all of a sudden when I'm walking home, there was tension between individuals who grew up together, individuals who went to the same school, individuals who used to be friends, and now we didn't get along because of where we live. We didn't have any personal beefs with each other, but all of a sudden we start these little rivalries that exist in every community. Because another thing I want you to know is your community is no different than any other community. All young people are grappling and struggling. But you know what happens? Some people have it better than others. Some people have different resources than others. There are individuals in here that have 2 parents at home, in a nice, loving home. There are some that only have 1. There are some in here who are not being raised by their mom and dad, but are actually being raised by their grandparents. Different families, different struggles, different realities. But guess what? Each one of you destined for greatness. But we failed to hold ourselves up around this time. And I was no different than you. So all of a sudden, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I fell for the hype on television. I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I fell for the lines that certain individuals were so gifted in how they made nice hooks and catchy beats. And all of a sudden, you start imitating this thing that you see on television because they make it look glamorous, but they never tell you about the reality. They never tell you about the hospitals. They never tell you about how painful it is to actually see your loved one in boxes at 14, 15, 18. All of them, young lives taking way too long. They don't tell you about the innocent bystanders that get caught up in it. The mothers that get shot because they're shooting at the son. They never tell you about the little brother and sister that catches that bullet when the aim is the older brother or the older sister that's out there doing something they know they shouldn't be doing. And people always tend to think and judge real harshly like, oh, must be in the house. I could tell you that even in my own home. I was one person inside that home. I'm convinced most of you are very different at home than you are in school. You want to hold on to who you are at home, but all of a sudden you get into a space like this, and you start following other kids. And you start trying to shed who you really are inside. And individuals make you feel bad and make you feel insecure. You know the individuals that are making you feel bad and insecure are the ones that are probably dealing with the most stuff at home. These are the individuals that maybe don't have certain things that they wish they had. And what's even crazier to me now is that we have kids that are coming from homes where there's nothing but love and resources and opportunities. But because they're on the phones all the time, because they're on the watching certain things, clicking on certain videos and all that kind of stuff, it brainwashes them too. So all of a sudden in elementary school, I remember I had a principal, his name is Tyree Curry, may he rest in peace. I had a teacher in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Her name is Carol Jenkins, a black woman from Brooklyn that would come into that Hempstead School District every day and pour into us. And that with my mother's love, and even though I tested my mother, even though I did some real negative things, the foundation is love, and you need to learn to forgive. Some of us, some of you, at your own age, I can tell you that with everything I've been through, I wouldn't want to walk a day in your shoes because you're in the middle of your battle. Regardless of how young you are, I know. And there's something so beautiful about how whole you are at this age. I'm telling you, you are my therapy. You have no understanding how just having the opportunity to be here is an honor. And the fact of the matter is, young brothers, I know that sometimes the struggle is real and we feel like we gotta wear this armor and put on these layers and act like we don't care, act like nothing phases us. And we tend to draw ourselves to individuals that are going through the same pain and the same sadness, and we all front and play the same game. Instead of actually talking to one another and being like, yo, Christmas is coming, man. And again, that loved one is not here. How are we going to take care of one another? Your real homie's not going to be the one to tell you, yo, let's go jump on it. Your real homie's going to be the one that's going to be like, yo, chill. I can't have you getting suspended again. Your real homie's going to be the one that's going to tell you to wake up and tell you to go to school even when you don't want to. The real homie's going to be the one that checks your report card also and says, yo, we could do better. We could be better. We have to stand strong because, yo, what? There's been too much pain already. Too much pain. We struggled way too much already. You know it better than anybody else. And so even though you're 12 and 13 and 11 and people don't seem to think that you know what's going on, I know your brilliance. So let's learn to forgive. Let's learn to love one another. Because ultimately, familia, I'm going to tell you something. You're all we got. You're all we got. Forgive. Love each other. Don't bully each other. There's people in here that get made fun of because of things that are outside of their control. Yo, you guys are going through real heavy stuff. You don't need to put each other down when you already have so many odds against you. And to my beautiful teachers and administrators and people that come into this building every day, let me tell you something. I know it's not easy. I know it's hard. We just went through some real trauma. I want you to understand something. We've all been through so much trauma in the last couple of years. We have lost so many people that we loved. We lost so many people we care about. We have families that we don't invest in because we pour into others. And at the same time, we can't come home with nothing in our own cups. But I'm going to tell you something. These babies are the only ones that didn't choose to be here. All of us chose to be here. And I can tell you now, right? Because I kind of stopped, but I did graduate high school. I did earn an associate's. I did earn a bachelor's. I did earn a master's. I earned half a law degree, didn't finish. Long story for another day. I did get another certification where I'm a school building leader and I'm a school district leader. The craziness is I was a full-time administrator for 3 years overseeing the baccalaureate social work program. I started a nonprofit that's one of the leading nonprofits in my area. And no matter what, I still feel empty and I still feel sad at times because I feel like no matter what we do, we're still losing way too many of them. And you know what I could tell you? The way people divide us, the way people strategically divide us within the bureaucracy where we have different titles and different positions and we look at the same issue from different places. I need you too to have a little bit of mercy for others, but most importantly, grace for yourself too. This is all we got. This is all they got. So let's do what we can with what we got now because the future looks bright as a result of it. I'm always going to end like I always do. It's not your community. It's not my community. It's our community.
As the community outreach unit, we go to schools and we do social dramas and presentations on several topics like bullying, conflict resolution, sexual harassment. Your school is trying to get us to come, but we are booked. Because we cover the whole city. But because of what I heard today, I want to stay here with you guys. Next week, we're in training because we get trained to do what we do, to be certified to teach you guys. So I'll be in training. My whole team will be in training next week. But the following week, I think it might be break. I'm not sure. Who did you speak with that was talking to you earlier? What's his name? Mr. V. Mr. V. Mr. V is trying to get us on the schedule to come. I'm coming sooner than. I'm going to make time. I'm going to make room. I'm going to bring my team here to finish some of the conversation that I heard here today. I want you to see an enactment of bullying and what happens. And you guys are going to be able to talk to the characters. And we're going to figure out how do we deal with some of the things that you guys deal with every day. So that's my promise to you. I don't want to end this conversation. I want to continue it. We're coming. I want this same group. Is that okay? This same group, administrators, because I think we need to talk a little bit based off of what you heard today. I want to go a deeper dive into some topics, okay? So we're coming back, the outreach unit. Amazing. I was blown away. And I've been doing this for 28 years. I've worked for school safety for 28 years. I've heard so many stories. I could stand here all day and tell you how my heart hurts. That's why I show emotions. How many guns? We're up to 21. 21 guns in schools. It has to stop. And you guys are going to be the ones that's going to stop it. You guys are our future. You guys are going to tell administrators, you're going to talk to your teachers, you're going to talk to your peers and say, hey, no, this is not what we're going to do. We're going to be better. We're going to be strong. We're going to be powerful. We're going to be who we are supposed to be in any situation. Okay? Is that all right? Yeah. So I see you guys in about 2 weeks, okay? Yeah. Thank you for having me.